Hi, welcome back to Skijor Central. We thought we would continue our podcast of taking it to the streets to bring up a few more races that I had neglected to cover in the first segment. My friend Sam Mitchell up in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, is doing an excellent job of taking skijoring to the streets. Over the past few years, she has turned her competitive race into a production, into a show in Banff and also in Calgary at Confluence Park. And she is attracting the biggest crowds by far of any of our events in North America. She has trick riders, she has cowboys that are very experienced, she has skiers and snowboarders that are freestyle, aerial skiers that are really wowing the crowd. The horses are towing the skiers or snowboarders into a jump, and then they're doing their aerials. So she's also encouraging everybody to dress Skijor style in fur and fringe and wild rags and all kinds of wonderful attire. So it really is a celebration of the Western lifestyle that combines cowboys, cowgirls, skiers, snowboarders, and horses, of course. And I just want to congratulate Sam on all of her success. So we also have some smaller races that I didn't mention in the first podcast that have had races on streets. They're during winter carnivals as well. One is in Sundance, Wyoming, near the Dakota border, the South Dakota border. And also in Sheridan, Wyoming, they've had a race on a street. And in Red River, New Mexico, they had a race a few years ago and are bringing that race back in 2027. And it will also be on a street in a resort. So very similar to Telluride. So we just want to congratulate everybody on all their efforts and their successes. The other thing I thought maybe I would touch upon is people have questions about how exactly does a horse race safely or run safely on asphalt that's covered in snow. And I just wanted to let everyone know that every precaution is taken, and the people who create these courses have a lot of experience or learn from people with experience if it's a newer race. First of all, we don't put that much snow down on that street surface. It's only about 4 to 6 inches of snow. The depth is kept consistent. We wait until that surface is very, very cold. So the snow is usually put down in the kind of early morning hours. And we allow that snow to set by running a groomer or a snowcat over that snow, spreading it out, tilling it, getting all the air out of it so that it can set as solid a surface as possible. And then, of course, the features are built, usually with a skid steer. But the surface that the horse is running on, generally the middle of the track, is kept at a consistent depth. And throughout the race itself is also monitored by the organizers and by officials. If it does start to get a bit soft, there are methods like salting the track that in between divisions that can help to improve the quality of the snow and keep it safe for the horses so that they still have traction. The other thing that we do, of course, is shoe the horses properly for that type of a surface. And that is up to each of the riders. Many of them are actually farriers themselves. And I think the most common technique that's used now is to adhere boreum to the horseshoe in places where that horse will then get better traction. It's kind of a spiky alloy that really does give you a lot more grip on the surface, because most times that horse is punching through that snow down to the asphalt at times. And that's not dangerous as long as they have the right shoes on. Other people might elect to use some kind of tacks or spikes. And of course, they'll put boots on their horses so that the horses don't cut their legs as they, might nick themselves with those horseshoes. And so just thought to enlighten people on that. Like I said, I'd really like to have some guests on the podcast in the future that can talk about course building and can talk about horseshoeing. And I think that would add a lot of depth to this presentation. So thank you so much for supporting the sport. As I said, we try to keep everybody safe, especially the horses, and we put a lot of thought into the track building, especially when it's on asphalt. One more thing is our runouts are very important. That horse has to slow down and slow down safely. So we make sure that that run out is lengthy, ample, free of any obstacles, and that the surface stays consistent for as long as possible so that the horse is not transitioning from that snow-covered asphalt to another surface too quickly.